I guess it's pretty big. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 2 of the weekly What's on the Bench. It's the new Traxxas Ultimate RC hauler. And I'm sure you've already seen many videos about this truck, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the details. But I will say the details are pretty amazing, and I'm really excited to have this on the bench. It's a very big truck. It's much bigger than the Traxxas AMG G63 6x6 that they made previously, which they still make. This is designed to be more of an RC hauler. That's probably why they called it the Ultimate RC hauler. And as you can see, I've got it. As you can see, I've got mine outfitted with one of the Traxxas Fortec 3.0 cars, and this is the Toyota Supra. Probably my favorite of all of their Fortecs so far. I just think the body looks awesome, wheel and tire package is great, and it's a ton of fun because there's not as much grip, so it's a little bit drifty. But it fits perfectly on the back of here because it was designed exactly for these cars. You can put a crawler back here. It looks weird, but you can do it. This nice big flatbed is a pretty awesome thing to see in real life, and I didn't really get a good scale reference when I saw it online, so having one on the bench really does make you realize how many squares big this is. And it's not lightweight either. It is extremely heavy, and should prove to be a pretty good hauler if that's what you're going to end up using it for. Another nice feature about this truck, tons of LED lights. We could probably spend some time counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There are 27 LED lights on the Ultimate RC hauler. And that's the most I've ever seen on any RC, ever. All at once from the factory, so that's pretty cool to see. The black chrome accents, these big fuel cells, and then these utility boxes, it really does offer a lot of nice scale realism. Rear view mirrors, we've got all the marker lights. It's a pretty darn good looking package, and Traxxas has done a really good job of putting it together. One minor negative, windows, again, they're decals. There's no clear window under there. You're gonna have to use your elbow grease technique or nitro fuel, whatever you've got handy, to get rid of some of that and make your own clear windows. I'm probably going to do that, if I'm honest, on this version, because I do want to have some clear windows. But that's not where the modifying is going to stop. And this is What's on the Bench, and What's on the Bench is all about taking things and modifying them and showing you some techniques. So we're going to actually create an EarthRoamer out of the Ultimate RC hauler. I do like the concept of carrying trucks around on the back of this flatbed, and it's a pretty cool thing that they did, and it looks awesome. I'm not going to lie, this looks really cool. I'm going to go outside and take some pictures before I ruin it. But what I want to make is the Ultimate RC EarthRoamer. And if you're not familiar with EarthRoamer, it's a company that makes some pretty high-end RV products. And what they usually do is take like a F450 or F750 or one of the larger trucks, and what they do is they kit them out with a full custom RV on the back, and they sell for a lot of money. You can basically buy a really nice mansion for the cost of one of these vehicles. So I'll never own one in real life, so why not make one? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to design and 3D print some elements, and then I'm also going to get out the styrene and start building some actual styrene structures again for the first time in quite a while, and build myself an EarthRoamer on the bones of the Ultimate RC hauler. And these are some pretty sturdy bones, so we're going to use a lot of the elements that already exist. This whole flatbed section is probably going to be reused in some capacity. I don't want to lose that because it's a nice rigid structure that I can actually mount some of my new parts to. First things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an internal structure, and I'm going to design and 3D print some internal skeletons or bones of this big box that's going to go on the back here to kind of flesh out the shape and the general dimensions of the box that I'm going to create. That's going to be the camper. You know, I don't want to make this a super long-term project, so I probably won't do a camper interior. I may make it modular so I can go ahead and do that later if I ever am inclined to get back on a project like this. But it is going to have the exterior looks. We'll probably do some sort of wrap over the styrene so it really just kind of blends in and makes it look like it's all part of the same vehicle. This thing is rather large, and the EarthRoamer back end is only going to make it larger. But we'll definitely get it outside and take it for a little spin once all of that work is done. It's really big. It's comical how large this thing is. I mean, it fills the frame for sure. It definitely looks great though. I love all of the chrome elements to it, and I think it will be a really nice base for this EarthRoamer project. If you've got any ideas for projects, or you want to see me do a demo on something, how to or how not to do, by all means, put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this series, hit the like button. It's the only way I know that you're enjoying this content. So hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates every time there's a new episode of What's on the Bench. Without further ado, let's hop over to Fusion 360 and I'll start designing up some pieces to attach to this to start making our full camper rear bed. Okay, so after some movie magic, we've got all of the internal structure basically printed in a very rough sense. And while it's already looking like something else entirely, there is a ton of work still to do, of course. I've got to glue all these supports together. They were printed in 2 pieces because there's only so much room on the Prusa, and this is a little bit wide. I do have to redesign the rearmost skeletal structure because the bolt is slightly higher and it ruined everything by about 1/4 of an inch. So this rear one has to get redesigned, not a big deal, of course. So here it is here. This is the front sort of aerodynamic sleeper cab-ish portion. This is all kind of just temporarily set together just so we can sort of get an idea of how it's all going to work, if it's going to work, and it looks like it is. This looks to be about the right size. We'll get a piece of styrene in to completely enclose this, and we'll do a window up top. There's actually a cutout for a window that I built into the design. I think it's actually coming along fairly well. Now, the next big step, of course, is getting back into styrene work, and that's some of my favorite stuff. I've already gotten the rough panel sizing done. This is just 060 styrene sheets. Did some measurements, cut them out, and of course this is going to go right along the side of the truck, sort of like this. And I made them a little extra high so I can build in just the contour of some fenders, or yeah, just a loose kind of fender, not anything crazy, but it's gonna look pretty cool. I think this is gonna be a pretty badass looking truck, I think. Obviously there will be windows, doors, everything to sort of make this look more like an actual camper van or RV. EarthRoamer. But I'm so far pretty happy with the process. There are a few things I will need to adjust and make some changes on, but I've already added holes to mount this styrene sheet to the skeleton, so it should be a nice firm mount. Everybody likes a good firm mounting. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty cool project. Obviously more time required than 1 week for weekly What's on the Bench. There's a lot more to come though. Got to think of some interesting ways to integrate all the lighting. I don't want to lose all of that because it's pretty cool. So maybe we'll build some sort of 3D printed structure that can be built into the styrene panels. But you can see the width is pretty good. I think that's going to look pretty decent. Yeah. There's a lot more to do, but I'm excited and cautiously optimistic. I did this all in a couple of days. I only got this truck on Monday. And what is it today? It's Wednesday. So pretty great progress so far, if you ask me. I think it's going to be a very fun build and pretty darn unique. Because this truck does come with a winch mount for the rear of the bed, I do want to integrate that winch somehow and possibly make something happen in the back here. Maybe some sort of garage door or something. That could be kind of cool, actually, now that I think about it. And in fact, this could be sort of like a toy hauler / sleeper RV. So maybe we'll put like some kind of little thing on the back that can roll out somehow. There's a lot that could happen with this. So I hope you stay tuned for this. This is a fun one. I'm having a good time. My thanks to Traxxas for sending me the ultimate RC hauler, which is probably going to become the ultimate RCRV. I like the sound of that. So yes, more styrene work to come in the coming weeks. It's just a big flat panel right now. Not much to show you there, but it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. All right, let's move on to another project. Show you some updates on something else. And finally today, some progress on the No Fun Haver. Yes, it's mostly together now. I've actually done a couple of things on here that I'm pretty chuffed about, actually. For the back, I designed up a little fuel cell there to cover some of the empty space. That's going to get sanded, painted, detailed, etc. And then we've also added a radiator there, which is very common in a lot of pre-runners and trophy trucks, so thought I should have that there too. Also added on some very tiny little hooks because we're gonna do a little strap system here for the spare tire. Up front, there is the interior installed in there now. It's hard mounted, so that's never coming out. And also, now the body is firmly mounted to the chassis as well. It's actually in there with a nice 3D printed mount that I designed up. It's all held together with these two little scale bolts on the front here. Very easy to remove these, and the body lifts off. And there is this 3D printed sort of mount that I made. It contours around the body, which I thought was a really nice touch. Holds the bumper in place. It's all kind of one piece, and holds everything in place really nicely. And yeah, nice strong way to hold the body on. And you don't have to use any body posts to do it. It's nice. It's a good way to do it. I wouldn't say it's a quick release though. There you go. Also trimmed out the fenders a little bit, so we've got a bit more travel on the front of the truck too. And just a few more tiny detail things, and then this one's all done and ready for a rip. I have not yet painted the tailgate, but you guys gave me some great ideas, so something good will go on there shortly. Otherwise, this one's nearly there. Pretty happy with this one. And with that, I think that's probably a good place to end this weekly What's on the Bench, episode 2. Some very cool progress, both on the No Fun Haver and the Ultimate RCRV. See, I told you I liked that. That sounds got a good ring to it. That's going to do it. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.